Hi, this is Eric. I am the giant triker, and I'll be doing a little bit of trike maintenance today and going out for a test ride afterwards. I've got 2 front rings on my trike, and ever since I added the e-assist, the derailleur hasn't been able to move far enough over to actually use that bigger ring. I don't really miss it, so I'm going to get rid of it, and I'm going to take the derailleur off and the shifting cable that goes to it. Now my goal here is I want to reduce the number of wires going between the front of the boom and the trike, because I think I'll be shaving the boom down in the future. So you're going to need a few things for this. Allen wrenches or your multi-tool if you got one. You're going to want a crank puller, and I've got a little flathead screwdriver here. It's a smaller one to get some of these clips off. So let's get started with, first we just need to take off the right pedal. Okay, so the first thing we gotta do is get rid of this dust cap that's on the end here. Looks like maybe a 7mm for this guy. Yep. Sometimes it's nice to just use the big old fat Allen wrenches. Nope, this is an 8. Rather than a multi-tool. Now, so that's just a dust cap. Now, if you've never pulled a crank off before, then you should be forewarned that you should use a crank puller for sure. I tried once to kind of like pry it off with, I think, a screwdriver or something. That didn't work very well. It's not worth the effort. Just get a crank puller. Make sure you thread that in enough where it's not going to pull the threads out as you crank this on. Start to feel some resistance here, but should come right off of here. Yep, there it goes. This is bolted into the motor, so I'm gonna have to get the, I guess you might call it hub screws off. Is this a 4? Yep. I'll take these off first. Okay, now I should be able to take this off. Chain's gonna get ugly, but whatever. It's like there's a screw here to take off, and I also need to, there's a screw on the derailleur. Looks like I can kind of open this up so that I don't have to take the chain apart just to get the derailleur off. Well, let's get this guy off of here. Okay, so there's a screw here on the derailleur. Hopefully it's not too hard to take off. Chain might be in the way. Just gonna unscrew this. Hopefully it'll come apart. I've never actually done this before, but what's the worst that could happen? All right. All right, so I need to take these clips off. I've already taken one off, but there's these clips that hold the shifter cable into place on the frame, or on the boom. So what I'm gonna do here is, where's the next one? It's actually all the way back here at the start of the boom, the tip of the boom. So I've got this little flathead screwdriver, and I'm just gonna pop this thing off. All right, now I have some twist ties on here from a previous installation. I'm just gonna remove the shifter cable from here, and it should slide right on out. So like about this is one of the longer loopy cables underneath the trike, so I'll be getting rid of that. Okay, so we're gonna take the shifter off the top here. Should be able to loosen these nuts that are on the side. Take this side off, and now you can kind of slide this out. Okay, so my original idea was to just take this cable off of here and then put the shifter back on. But I think what I'm going to end up doing is just taking the whole shifter off. So one thing, once you've got the shift lever off of here, there's going to be a nut down in the shifter base, you might call it. You don't want to loosen that very much, because if you do, parts will drop down in there and you'll be very sad. So let's find the right Allen wrench here. Go half a turn until you can remove this from the you can't. One more half turn. There we go. There's a pinch bolt in here, and if you loosen this too much, you'll be a very, very sad person. All right, should be able to take the cable out at this point. Sure hope I don't want to put this back on. That's all I'm saying. Oh, there's a worn spot on that cable. Probably hit the ground some. All right, great. So we've got the shifter off. We've got the cables completely off the trike. We're ready to kind of reassemble the front here. Let's get to it. So let's take these rings apart. Okay, so to reassemble this, I'm going to have to put the chain guard back on because the assembly screws, whatever you want to call them, are too big without it. They're too long, and this can be a bit of an acrobatics feat here. You thread the 1/2 in, put the other side in here. Okay, so I'm just going to put this gear back up on the spindle. Okay. And screw it back into the motor. All right, so we're in the home stretch now. I've tightened these bolts to attach this to the motor. And I got the chain wrapped back around, and now I just need to put the pedal back on. Make sure you put it on opposite the other one. Unless you want a 45-degree pedal angle. What would that be like? You're better. Right. That ought to do it. Let's get out there and go for a test ride and see how this does. The test ride was a success. I think the front looks a lot cleaner with just the one chain ring and then the guard on there. I've also got one less shifter cable underneath the trike. This can kind of bulge, get curvy under there, and it's a little crazy, and they can drag on the ground. There was some wear on the cable itself, so I could see how that had happened. That's not there anymore, so it's kind of cool. It's just one less thing in the way down there. And the only downside I'd say would be on the left handle, it's empty right now. So I just need to find something to fill that hole. I'm sure there's some cap I could get or some other thing. The handle, the foam for the handle sticks up over the top of where the metal tube ends. So whatever cap goes on there would have to be pretty strong to keep that down.
So I'll have to do some research there. The selfie stick on this camera almost perfectly fits in the handle, but doesn't quite make it, and I don't think it would work well for recording. So anyway, I'd say it's a success, and I'm looking forward to more rides with this configuration. And in the future, I'll be having a video about modifying the boom. So again, thanks for watching. Please forget to like or subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.
So I found some bar end caps on Amazon. Purple. They don't quite match the frame, but close enough. So just pop this in here. And it looks like it's going to fit great. It's not really putting any pressure on the handle to keep it down. Well, I'll see if I can get a washer to get that to work. Should be able to just tighten this up, and the pinch bolt will expand in the handle, and not perfect, but pretty close. We'll take it for now. I think I just need to get a washer that can extend past this and keep the foam down.